Have you ever thought that some of the foods you consider healthy might actually be sabotaging your kidneys? That's right. The truth is, certain everyday ingredients hide silent dangers to kidney health. And the worst part? These foods are so common in our daily lives that most people never question their impact. In this video, we're revealing a list of 6 hidden foods that, without you realizing it, may be slowly undermining your kidney health. From essentials you rely on to seemingly harmless choices, these foods have a cumulative effect that, over time, strains the renal system. If you're looking for practical ways to protect your kidneys and ensure a healthier life, stick around. This knowledge can make all the difference for your health. Some of the things we consume daily might seem harmless, but they hide a risk to kidney health. It's like we're cultivating a ticking time bomb on our plate without realizing it. Seemingly ordinary foods can quietly impact kidney function, and over time, they can be a major cause of chronic kidney disease. Just imagine, a simple meal might be slowly compromising your kidney health without you feeling a thing until it's too late. So, how about starting to look at what you eat with fresh eyes? The impact is more serious than it seems. Today, people of all ages, worldwide, have made these hidden foods a regular part of their diet. They seem healthy, but ultimately weigh down on the kidneys. It's a silent enemy sneaking into your diet unannounced, and proteinuria, an excess of protein in the urine, is one of the signs that something's wrong. Many don't realize that protein can end up being an indicator that chronic kidney disease is on the rise. If you've seen this sign in your tests, pay attention. Your body might be trying to tell you something important. You're probably wondering, what are these foods? The ones we eat daily without a second thought, like certain meats, dairy products, and even specific canned vegetables. Each has a subtle effect, but combined, they put a strain on the kidneys. Think of it this way. Over time, these foods create small, invisible scratches on the kidneys. These scratches can add up, becoming a real problem. Swapping out a few items in your diet can be a powerful first step for anyone wanting to avoid this slow journey of silent damage. To start protecting yourself, how about thinking of swapping or reducing the frequency of these foods? Instead of processed meats, which we'll talk about soon, try lighter proteins like grilled fish or legumes. Each swap is a choice for your kidneys and your health. But, of course, there's more valuable information about these hidden foods and what they can cause. Just hold tight. Chronic kidney disease, CKD, might seem like a distant concern to many, but the truth is that it affects a surprising number of people worldwide. Around 10% of the global population is already dealing with this condition, which means 1 in 10 individuals faces challenges with kidney health. Often, the root of this disease is tied to choices we make daily, choices that may seem harmless. Isn't it startling to think that in our routines, small habits may be quietly putting our health at risk, bit by bit, without us even noticing? This striking prevalence isn't a coincidence. Modern lifestyles, full of processed foods high in phosphorus and sodium, contribute to the rise in cases. That quick fast food run or the overconsumption of processed meats can be a significant part of the problem. As these choices add up, the strain on the kidneys intensifies, increasing blood pressure and opening the door to hypertension. Who would have thought that something as everyday as a burger or a soda could have such a severe impact on our health? And let's not forget, kidneys aren't just filters for the body. They play a crucial role in balancing multiple systems, including the cardiovascular one. When they aren't functioning well, everything else is compromised. In countries with fast-paced lifestyles where processed meats and canned foods are common, the trend is for this disease to keep spreading. It's a tough cycle to break, but recognizing the problem is the first step in preventing it from advancing. Knowing this global reality, it's worth rethinking some choices and seeking healthier alternatives. How about trying home-cooked meals with fresh, minimally processed ingredients? It might be a simple swap, but this change protects the kidneys and brings benefits that you'll feel over the long run. And speaking of long-term impacts, there's a particularly tricky group of foods for kidney function that we'll touch on next. Excess proteins. Proteinuria, or excess protein in the urine, might sound like a technical term, but its impact is very real and serious. When the body releases protein through urine, it's a sign that the kidneys are overburdened and struggling to perform their basic functions. In fact, The presence of protein in the urine is one of the earliest signs that something's amiss with kidney function. You might not feel anything initially, but your body is already trying to warn you that it's time to make a change before chronic kidney disease progresses even further. For many people, a diagnosis of proteinuria is a red flag. This marker can indicate that, bit by bit, the kidneys are failing, leading to toxin buildup and imbalances in essential nutrient levels. Think of the kidneys like a filter. The more protein they need to process, the higher the risk of wear and breakdown. And without realizing it, many continue eating protein-rich foods, like meats and dairy, unaware they're speeding up this wear. At this point, reducing protein intake can make a significant difference. Another thing that makes proteinuria so important is that it's an early and reversible indicator if caught in time. Small changes, like prioritizing plant-based proteins or limiting foods like processed meats, can help ease the burden on the kidneys. Instead of a heavy lunch with multiple animal protein sources, try meals with legumes, tofu, or even small portions of fish, which are gentler on the renal system and equally nutritious. And the best part is that these small changes can make a big difference in your quality of life and prevent more serious problems down the road. Because, in the end, caring for the kidneys is more than just avoiding disease, it's about ensuring that your body continues running at its best. In the next section, we'll delve into more foods that might seem harmless but hold hidden traps for our kidneys. Processed meats like bacon, ham, and cold cuts are some of the biggest hidden villains for kidney health. These foods may be irresistible for many, but the high levels of sodium and phosphates in them place a heavy burden on the kidneys. This combination raises blood pressure and increases oxidative stress, keeping the renal system on constant high alert. Imagine the kidneys as tireless workers. The more salt and phosphates they have to handle, the more worn down they become over time. And slowly, chronic kidney disease starts to settle in a stealthy way. It's not just the excess sodium that's concerning. The artificial phosphates used in these meats for preservation and flavor have a profoundly harmful effect on kidney function. Studies show that a diet rich in phosphates can accelerate kidney damage and contribute to more severe conditions. The truth is that the flavor and convenience of these processed meats come at a high cost. By regularly choosing them, we're essentially fast-tracking a silent process of wear and tear. Swapping breakfast ham for alternatives like fresh turkey breast or boiled eggs can be a small change with big results for your kidneys. For many, cutting back on bacon or cold cuts might seem challenging, but there are great alternatives that can replace these foods in daily meals. Try seasoning vegetables with fresh herbs for a rich flavor, or, if possible, choose preservative-free lean meats. And if you enjoyed these tips, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. That way, you can keep up with content that helps you take care of your health in a practical and informed way. And of course, processed meats aren't the only hidden danger. There are other common foods that also require caution, especially for those already facing some level of kidney dysfunction. Next, we'll discuss a group that few suspect to be so problematic: dairy products high in phosphorus. For those with kidney issues, consuming high phosphorus dairy is like walking a tightrope. This nutrient, essential in moderate amounts, can become a real challenge when phosphorus levels in the blood get out of balance. In healthy kidneys, excess phosphorus is filtered out and eliminated. But when the kidneys are weakened, this element begins to accumulate, and the effects can be severe. Excess phosphorus can cause both bone problems and heart complications, significantly affecting quality of life. Phosphorus imbalance in the body, caused by certain dairy products, hinders calcium absorption, which is crucial for bone health. This lack of calcium can weaken bones, making them more prone to fractures and diseases like osteoporosis. People with chronic kidney disease often face this reality, as elevated phosphorus levels create a vicious cycle of bone deterioration. And the curious part is that foods like milk, which we associate with strong bones, can have the opposite effect for those needing phosphorus control. For the kidneys, managing the high phosphorus levels in dairy products is like an endless battle. Cheese, yogurt, and even some types of milk can contain levels that worsen kidney conditions. Instead of these products, alternatives like plant-based milks with lower phosphorus can be a healthier, safer choice. Other options include almond yogurt and lactose-free cheeses, which help maintain phosphorus control and ease the burden on the kidneys. Of course, There are other changes that can further protect the kidneys for those already dealing with kidney diseases. Choosing safer calcium sources and avoiding high phosphorus dairy are essential practices, but there are more problematic foods to keep an eye on. Let's move on to understand how even vegetables can pose a threat to the kidneys. Canned vegetables are a quick and convenient choice, but unfortunately, they come with a cost to kidney health. Packed with sodium and other additives, these preserved goods have a negative impact, especially for those already struggling with high blood pressure or kidney disease. This excess sodium acts like an invisible enemy, retaining fluids and placing even more pressure on the renal system. For the kidneys, dealing with this constant overload is a taxing job that can speed up the path to chronic kidney disease. Over time, the high sodium intake from these canned goods can become a key factor in advancing hypertension. It's as if every time a can is opened, an extra dose of pressure is added to the cardiovascular and renal systems. Swapping canned vegetables for fresh or unsalted frozen options is a safer alternative. For example, try making soups and broths with natural ingredients, preserving flavor without overburdening the kidneys. Many might think that rinsing canned vegetables will solve the problem, but this step only slightly reduces sodium levels and leaves the additives intact. The preservatives, which ensure shelf stability, end up acting as inflammatory agents that further strain the kidneys. Ideally, it's best to avoid these products altogether and prioritize more natural options, like home-cooked vegetables with light seasoning. Avoiding canned vegetables is just one step, but it's a simple action with significant impact for those wanting to protect their kidneys. Still, there are other surprising foods that can pose a threat to renal health. In the next topic, we'll look at a food many associate with health but can be problematic: whole grain bread. Whole grain bread is generally seen as healthy, but for those with chronic kidney disease, CKD, it can have some hidden drawbacks. Rich in potassium and phosphorus, this type of bread can strain the kidneys in unexpected ways. These minerals, when consumed in excess, build up in the body of someone already struggling to filter them, causing further damage. So, while whole grain bread is a great choice for many, for those dealing with CKD, it can be yet another challenge for the kidneys. Excess potassium, for instance, is particularly concerning, as it can lead to heart arrhythmias and muscle issues. This means that by regularly consuming whole grain bread, potassium levels can accumulate and create serious complications. For people with CKD, reducing foods rich in potassium is a wise choice. Opting for white bread or alternatives with lower potassium content can be a good way to keep a balanced diet and protect the kidneys. In addition to potassium, the phosphorus in whole grain bread also poses a problem. When the kidneys can't eliminate excess phosphorus, it can end up harming bones and the cardiovascular system. It's a delicate balance. Phosphorus is necessary, but in controlled amounts. Switching to a bread with lower phosphorus content, like white bread, or even using alternative flours for homemade bread can allow you to keep bread in your diet without overburdening your body. For those with CKD, managing the diet is like adjusting the pieces of a puzzle. While whole grain bread is nutritious, in some cases, it needs to be consumed with caution. And of course, this is just one of many food choices that can help preserve kidney health. In the next section, we'll see a complete list of hidden foods that, when avoided, bring significant benefits to the kidneys. So, now that you've learned about these hidden foods that could be harming your kidneys, what changes are you willing to make? Small choices, like cutting back on foods high in sodium, phosphorus, or potassium, can be the first step toward protecting your kidney health and preventing future issues. Just imagine the impact these simple changes could have. And if you're really serious about transforming your health and learning more about heart care, be sure to check out our video, Eat This Every Day and Say Goodbye to Heart Attack Risk. Just like the kidneys, the heart is crucial to well-being, and you can find out how a few strategic foods can make all the difference. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. That way, you'll keep receiving valuable content to boost your health and wellness. After all, your health deserves all the attention.